Let us get an overview of predefined functions. Like any RDBMS, Postgres provides robust set of predefined functions to come up with solutions quickly as per the business requirements. There are hundreds of functions, but we will see only the most common ones here. We will explore at least 40 to 50 functions as part of this section. Following are the categories of functions that are more commonly used. Even though there are hundreds of functions, we can group them into several categories. Some of the important categories are nothing but string manipulation, date manipulation, numeric functions, type conversion functions, and special functions such as case and when. You can think of few more depending upon the requirements at a later point in time. Now let's take care of these two steps so that we can run queries against the Postgres database. This is the query which will give us the details with respect to all the functions that are part of our database. They can be pre-defined functions provided by the Postgres community, or the functions which are created by us, which are also known as user-defined functions. In this case, we are not talking about user-defined functions. We are only talking about predefined functions which are provided by Postgres community. Typically, they are nothing but the user-defined functions by Postgres community. We can term it as predefined functions also because they are available out of the box along with the Postgres database. So routine name is the column which will give us the details about the function names. You can see here. If you want to get all the functions which have str in that, we can actually run this query and we should be able to get the details. There is no easy way to get all string manipulation functions in one shot because some of the functions might not have str in them. However, if you want to get the proper documentation with respect to the functions along with all the functions related to a particular category, what you can do is you can go to the Postgres documentation. So the Postgres documentation is available under postgresql.org. Here you can go to the documentation in the navbar. In this you can click on current to go to the documentation of the current version of the database. We are using 13 and hence you can go here. If you are watching this and by then if you have other versions, some of the material which I am using here might not work in those versions, and also if your database version which you are practicing for is different from 13, you just have to come here and click on that version and then you should be able to get the help based on that version. However, many of the functions will work in almost all these versions, but there might be some functions which might work only in certain versions in a certain way. Now let me click on 13 here and now you can scroll down. If you scroll down, there is functions and operators. You can click on this. Then you will see the details with respect to all the topics related to functions and operators. If you want to explore all the string manipulation functions, you can see the category here, string functions and operators. You can click on this and you can actually get all the list of functions here along with the syntax and also some documentation about those functions. You can come here and explore the functions in detail before using them as part of your learning process or even in the projects. Now if you want to explore a particular function, for example substring, you can actually search for substring here. You can see there are several functions. You can use different styles of substring here. You can extract one string from another string using substring either by passing them as comma separated arguments or using special keywords such as from. Either the approach should work. You should be able to take care of extracting the string from other strings. And you can directly copy paste these things. Just remember that you need to have a select clause to run these queries. You can now add a cell here if you are using Jupyter Hub based environment. If you are using SQL Workbench to practice, you can use the typical script window and then you should be able to use select and paste that function example from the material and you should be able to run like this. So this is how you should be able to use the material to actually explore a function. So in this case, we have validated substring with a special syntax with from and for in it. Alternative way of using this function is you can also specify comma separated like this. So instead of saying from to for 3, you can just say comma 2 comma 3. So starting from the second character, it will extract 3 characters. We will see few more examples of substring at a later point in time. This is how you should be able to come up with a simple queries to explore your functions. Once you understand how the functions work from both syntax and semantics perspective, then you can actually start using those as part of your main queries where you are trying to solve the business requirements.